am running for Alabama State Senate, District 7. No, I am not a career politician. I am not an attorney. This gentleman said, are you nervous? Anybody that's heard me speak knows that I am not nervous. I was a journalist for 20 and a half years. I tell folks I crossed over to the dark side. I went back and got 3 more degrees, and I became a criminologist / victimologist. So I'm very supportive of people in these types of fields. Now, let me tell you my dealings with firefighters. When I was a little girl, my cousins, it was Christmas Eve. They were upstairs. They had a fresh tree that had dried out. You know what happened? It caught fire. They had to jump off the roof, and they all got saved. Praise God, the house got lost and everything in it. That was their Christmas. But their life was better than Christmas gifts. Pushing forward, I was in a bad car accident about 4.5 years ago, and of course the firefighters are always, it seems, the first ones on the scene. Being from the north, I wasn't used to, which they do a lot of now, that when you had certain issues, if you were ill in your house and you called 911, that firefighters would show up. I didn't understand that until I moved in the South, and in my car accident, it was the firefighters that showed up before the police got there. Then let's go even more forward. I have a 95-year-old grandmother that is with me, and many times we've had to call 911 over the last 10 years, and the firefighters were always there and always so passionate, to the point of we've moved twice, and whenever I have to call, it's always an ambulance person or a firefighter that'll say, hello, Miss Suggs. They have remembered her because she's so sweet. Now, I am very much supportive of you. And I have my youngest brother, who is now a detective in Philadelphia, spent years retired as a firefighter. And the one thing we used to be concerned about was his safety. And he'd say, I'm okay, but every now and then you would find where a firefighter got injured, sometimes killed, and we would worry so much about him. And he would always say, we need more pay, we need more people to stand up and to fight for our protection. That's what I will do as a senator for the state of Alabama, is make sure that people in these types of fields, who I call my heroes, are getting what they need, deserve, protected, etc. Now, I know that you all for this have partnered up with the RSA, and what I'm going to briefly say about that is Dr. Bronner has done a wonderful job. If it's not broken, don't fix it. We need to keep Montgomery's hands off, and we need not to let the Pew Group come in and mess up what they did in Virginia and Kentucky. You earned that money, you paid it, then you ought to be able to get it back when you're supposed to get it back. I mean, that's only fair, all right? And so that's my stand on that. Now, because I have a brother as a firefighter, I understand that you all have personal lives, and you deal with everything that we deal with in the communities. And so I've been an advocate for domestic violence, child abuse. I sat on the board of the Northern District when they started the Human Trafficking Task Force. I've written a lot about issues like that. And then my PhD, when I was working on, I finished that program, just waiting for them to accept my dissertation, even dealt with the reducing recidivism among nonviolent offenders. So I've been all over the place when you talk about victims and the family. So I'm the candidate that is for the family. I'm not here, hear what I'm saying, to bash any party. I'm not here to talk about any opponent or any other candidate. I keep my race and I keep it focused. The only thing I say is show me the respect that I will show you when we're out there. And so because I understand that you're in the community, then I want to let you know some of the things that I stand for that deals with the family. Increasing minimum wage. I go beyond a livable wage. You need a wage that's not just livable. You and everybody in your family and who else is in the community needs a wage that you can be proud to take care of your families. And that money goes back into the economy. When you have money in your pocket, what do? You spend it because it burns a hole. And so we need to make sure that our families can have pride again, because I believe that the American dream is a reality, not a dream. I believe in taking care of all of our heroes, such as yourselves, including our elderly and our veterans. I am upset when I see homeless veterans when I go to the camps. I'm upset. I just recently had to fight for my grandmother. They took her off a hospice. How do you take her off a hospice with all the issues? I had to go all the way up to the top to Medicare, all the way down to the bottom and all the way around, and then I always say, you better hope I don't become a senator, because this will change. And everybody looks at me like I'm crazy. I believe in affordable health care. It is not a privilege, it is a right. But when you discuss the expansion of Medicaid, most candidates won't tell you that there are two different issues. And they are. And both of them can bring monies into the economy. Mike Smith is very well versed on that. I'd love to hear him talk about that. I believe in education reform, because no matter where you live, if you have children, they have to go to school. So we need to bring in restorative justice programs into the schools. And folks, we need to bring more counselors back into the schools. And we need to give our teachers good wages, so when we put out the call, we need teachers, we'll get the best to apply. I'm tired of this area losing all of its good teachers. And there are a lot of issues with our young people, and everybody wants to say, well, it starts at home. Maybe so, but obviously some of it isn't starting at home. So we need to be able to have counselors and mental health specialists on board, which means we need to deal with our mental health. I'm not going to go into what you've heard here about the prisons, because you've heard it, that how many, what the percentage are in the prisons of mental health. We do have a mental health court in Madison County, and I'm glad of that. And I believe that was started by the retired Judge Lynn Sherrod. She had vision. We need criminal justice and correctional reform. I do support the reclassification of marijuana laws from a felon to a fine. Why are we spending $15 million a year to enforce it? And you heard the next Attorney General say that a gentleman went 9 years, got served because he smoked a few joints. Come on, what is up with that? That's just not right. We need to reclassify it, because once you become a felon, you can't get a job. So you're going to recidivate. You make it worse, because while you're in prison, you learn how to do crimes even worse than before you went there. I also say, I hope none of you all do payday loans, because they're like the mafia, they're robbing you. And so the final thing that I'm going to say, and I have much here, like address the opiate crisis, but I want to talk about 1 minute about our companies coming into this state. Yes. Everybody's quick to talk about, that's running for re-election, how we've brought all these companies into the state. I have 4 degrees. Not one company out of the last 10 that came into the state could I do a job for. And I'm good at everything that I do professionally. I could not do it. I did not qualify. And I'm here to say that most of you probably wouldn't be able to either. And then they want to bring in 80% of their workers, hire 20% of ours. Now, I'm just throwing that out, But you understand the premise. I want to flip it. You train our people. You earn your benefits. You want to come here and get tax breaks, you're going to earn it. And people have heard me say, number 1, hire our high-functioning autistic young people. As a state, we have the highest rate of autism. Hire them. They can do the little jobs. They can do it. Because when they hit a certain age, they age out of the school system. So all their lives, they've been learning and they've progressed, and now they sit here doing nothing and they decline. And their parents, half of the time, don't have the money to stay home, so what do? And any programs that's out there is a 2 to 5 year waiting list. Hire our nonviolent post-release offenders. Give them pride, give them a job, give them some money so they can take care of their families, and maybe that's just one of an integrated approach in reducing recidivism. Go into our housing developments and start training for a year or two while you're building up your building. Train them to come and work in your companies so that we can, watch this, gradually move them off the system and give them something to be proud about. And while you're at it, let's take our technical schools, which are wonderful, but you know what? They came out at a time when hair care and barbering and mechanics were big. But now we have seniors graduating and all of them aren't ready for college or college material, and they can't get a good job. Let's get them trained in certain areas that when companies come in, they are ready, and then those companies can take those young people and give them additional training so they can get jobs. So now I done talked to you in almost every area of the family. And so that's why I say I'm the family candidate. I'm the family candidate. And the other night at a forum, I said I was changing my middle name from Lynn to Hopeful. And so that's me. I'm Deborah Hopeful Barros. And I am a candidate for Alabama State Senate. Remember, June 5th, vote for me. And what I always end it is, my story is your story. Your story is my story. I am we the people. You are we the people. Your voice and your vote is your power. Welcome to change.